Our next guest has written the bill being voted on shortly, a bill that would end President Obama's Deferred Action Program as of July 30th. She says the measure strengthens the original legislation that she crafted along with Senator Ted Cruz, which incorporates language that would tie the president's hands on future executive actions that he might take to expand amnesty for illegal immigrants of any age or position. Congresswoman Marsha Blackburn is the vice chair of the House Energy and Commerce Committee, a member of the House Budget Committee, and it's good to have you with us. I know you are in the midst of votes and a lot of goings on there in the House, so we appreciate your taking the time. Where do we stand with the vote? We've just watched the vote on the rule. Will the leadership get the vote at once?
Yes, indeed. I think we are ready to go. We have worked out so many issues in the past 24 hours, Lou. A group of us worked yesterday late into the evening, and you had several who had opposition to the border bill. They were for my DACA bill, but against the other. And we worked out those issues. We put them on the table, and I have to tell you, it's been one of the most constructive legislating processes that I've ever been a member of. Everybody came to the table. They were very clear and concise about their concerns. We talked about different approaches that could and should be taken, and we arrived at a consensus as to what the bill should look like to go to the floor and offer solutions for the American people to an issue that they look at that is horrifying, with the southern border being overrun, these precious children that are being subjected to these coyotes making false claims, giving false hope. And you know, these countries want their children back. They want them to be reunited with their families in their home countries. And I think we're getting this entire issue and situation on the right track.
You know, it is a strange thing to behold. The President of the United States talking about inviting these folks in to the United States from Central America, primarily El Salvador, Honduras, Guatemala, and at the same time has done nothing in 5 years to bolster the economies and the governments of those three countries, and even now has their presidents join him in Washington, D.C., but without purpose, plan, or policy as to how to rid those countries of the cartel's influence and the human and drug smugglers that are taking immense advantage.
Yes, that's exactly right. And I will tell you, Kay Granger, Matt Salmon, John Culberson, those that have been on the working group to come together with the policy of what first steps should be and address these problems. They have done it in a very conservative, compassionate, thoughtful way. Senator Cruz and I worked on legislation to address DACA, which is the driver. This is what so many of the coyotes are using. So we have all brought these issues to the table and said, how do we best address this and put an end to it and prohibit the coyotes, you know, in this, where they're saying, oh, if you get to America and get to American soil, then you're going to have amnesty. And so the two-vote process tonight, one on the border bill, one on the DACA bill, and then both bills will go over to the Senate, and we would be hopeful that Harry Reid would call the Senate back and take this up.
What do you think of those in your own conference who are saying that splitting the legislation is a bad idea, that there will be an a la carte here, they'll take the former, not the latter, and move on, business as usual?
Well, you know, one of the things we have said from the very beginning as immigration was discussed is that there would be no comprehensive or big bill to come out of the House, that we were going to do things one at a time. The first thing that needed to be done was secure the border. And that's exactly what we are doing. We have said you'll get single-shot bills coming out of the House, and that's pretty much what we've said all along. So for someone to now think we're going to do something comprehensively doesn't tie in with what Chairman Goodlatte and House conservatives have been pushing for from the start.
All right. Congresswoman Marsha Blackburn, we know you've got a busy evening ahead of you. We thank you very much.
I do indeed. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Good luck.